They wrote me off, I ain't write them back. Follow me, but don't double tap. I ain't liking that. You subscribe, I monetize. Now who's striking that? Wanna see the contract? Who got the rights to that? This my story. I spent my whole life on that. Times up. Shador Sanders with the rollie and the armor. I could do this shit with my eyes closed. The main attraction don't come at me with no side show. I'm selling high, they wanna buy low.
What up, family? How we feeling, man? You know, the cook up, man. We in the building. We in the kitchen. Man, we got it cracking. I got a special guest. My boy ATM is in the building, baby. That mean the money is flowing, you know? My boy is here. The money's flowing, man. It's good old Tuesday morning. The date. It was 11/11 yesterday, right? So Hope y'all got your wishes, whatever that was. And, we here, man, to serve the people, man. How we feeling today, Adam?
Listen, man, wishes delivered. You know, I'm out here cook up Tuesday morning. We're good. We're ready to roll, man. We're ready to roll.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. My man got the vanilla berries in the building. Look, he even tried to get the jersey. He tried to coordinate it, right? My boy,
you know what I'm saying?
he got the vanilla berry jersey on. You know what I'm saying? So he cooking for real. He ain't playing no games.
No prisoners, man.
Man, it's so crazy, bro. Last night, man, I was looking at that game. And which I'm gonna end up showing eventually my downfall to this, but man, the Rams and the Miami Dolphins, we sat here thinking like this is probably the highest scoring game of the week. They about to go out here and light it up. And literally, if you had an IDP league, you ate last night, right? Like literally, sack, fumble, sack, interception, fumble. I'm like, bro, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the Rams, bro, and I got Puka and Cup on like 4 teams together, and I'm like, damn, pick it up. And now that they losing, all right, cool. We about to run it up.
Come back,
bro. On 3rd and goal, they kicked the field goal to try to get the kick with the onside. Bro, all I needed was 1 catch from Cup or Puka and 3 leads, and I end up losing, bro. I lost by like 3. I lost by like 3 points and 3 leads.
Points? Oh man.
And 3 leads with Puka and Cup on the same roster. And all I needed was I'm figuring, the touchdown gonna probably go to one of them. If I could just get this last catch, we good to go. And
I know it's no way you and I were in the same position. So I lost 71.4 to 72.88 in a redraft league where I had Cooper Cup and Puka going.
Damn. Yeah, bro.
And what's crazy was I had the flip side in the league. So one of the things that's tough about when you get like your leagues up higher, right, is where like you kind of have the opposite situation going in another game, and you're like, what do I even root for here? I had the perfect spread though because I was up 7 in that other league. So like I could have actually basically had anything but a Cooper Cup touchdown and threaded the needle, right?
Yeah.
Just get me a catch. Like
tough, man.
The other thing is, I guess I would love to know the analytics. Like, I would love to have somebody that either understands it. Like, what about that extra 5 seconds on 3rd down to 4th down is worth kicking the field goal there? Like, I personally don't understand how that makes sense when you're that close.
I mean, and what are the chances of you getting an onside kick? Come on, bro. Like, get the touchdown and then let's try this. But I mean, get the field goal. And
I guess my thing is there. It's like, to your point, right? If the bet is just because how hard it is with the onside kick, which it is, it's incredibly hard. Why aren't we just kicking the field goal like with a minute left back further? Like, let's just get that out of the way because it's going to come down.
If you're going to kick it anyway, exactly. Right. I didn't even think of that. If you're going to kick it anyway, you might as well have just done that.
Yeah.
It's third. Now, if it was 4th down, I get it. It was 3rd and goal.
I don't.
You had 2 downs.
I don't know if there. I would love to understand the logic behind it. If they're a botch play and they think they get an extra one, I don't know what it was, but
That was wild, bro. That was
Yeah,
wild.
I'm with Dr. Dimes. The math doesn't check out. You go for the touchdown.
Man. It ain't adding up, brother. But anyway, man, look, we're gonna shout out to people, man. You know, before we get started, man, I just wanted to let them come in. You know what I'm saying? Take their seat, put their napkin up on around their collar. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to eat. So
we ready?
Got my boy D Walk, man. He tapped in at 10:19 last night, man. He said,
"What's up, D Walk?"
You know, he in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you been, brother, but I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
Flowosaurus in the building. What's up, bro? Big Corey. You got Cold World in the building, man. Theo, you know, I know he said he wanted to up to his Patreon, man. So we gotta make sure we tap him in with that, bro.
I love to see it, man. What's up, Theo? We met Theo at the expo, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep. So Dr. Dimes in the building. I got your question, bro. Just give me 1 second, man. Let me tap in with the people, brother. Splashy, what's up, brother? My man, Mr. Voorhees, my brother, man. Who else we got? My boy Rock.
Oh, he changed the name on it. I wouldn't even have known. That's Oh no. Okay. Never mind. I thought you were saying it was Dr. Dimes. I see Mr. Voorhees in there.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Rock in the kitchen. You know he always cooking something, man.
What's good, Rock?
Pops, you know, now you battling for first. Last week it was we next. See, when the Commanders lose, the tone change. You know what I'm saying? The temperature change in the room, and it's all good, Pops. We gonna hold you down, you know.
I love it.
But yeah, Adam, man, look, man, as far as this, like last night, we already, you know, kind of kicked it off with that. But the whole weekend in general, bro, it was a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about the games and you thinking about, like, I watched y'all recap show, and we had some guys who literally we didn't think could be who they were, and then we had some guys that just shit the bed, if you want to, you know, just bring it up. Like,
right.
When you look at that Thursday night game, and we can kick it off with this, that Thursday night game kind of set the tone. And we really thought, like, damn. But I mean, we look at the game before that when they played each other, man. It was you know, Lamar Jackson had like 4 touchdowns. I think Joe Burrow had 5 touchdowns. And then you come back to the rematch. I didn't expect nothing less, right? You know what I'm saying? So Jamar Chase literally broke fantasy this week. And at another wild point, bro, the last night, the reason why I brought up that Puka thing, I went up against Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow in this league and only lost by 5 points.
Oh,
so I had Lamar and Andrews. They held me down, but I'm just saying that.
Okay, so you didn't hold pace, but you weren't too far off. Like
facts. And it's a lineup league too. And I had Laporta and Pitts, and I started Andrews just off the let's get it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. I started Andrews and came up. So
okay.
But but just looking at that game in general though, bro. Like I said, Jamar Chase went off. Joe Burrow went off. Chase Brown looks like he's arrived. You know what I'm saying? He's in this league right now. Yeah. I know y'all talked about him the other day. And, of course, my boy QB1, baby, Lamar Jackson, man. I've been trying to let y'all know, man. Trying to let the people know, Adam. QB1, man. I know Josh Allen has held this crown for a long time, but it's time for my boy to flock in there, man. So what's your thoughts, man, on this weekend? Well, that Thursday night game. And,
no, listen, Lamar is one for me too.
Okay, I love to hear, bro.
It's still a tier. I've had a tier where I would call him almost interchangeable for a little bit now. But I'll be honest, man. Like to me, what I'm kind of irritated in a way a little bit about. It feels like there's this crowd that's just waiting for the playoffs, trying to come out and, you know, go right back to same old time. And it's just, I feel like if you're actually watching and tapped into the Ravens this year, like you can't deny the progression. Now, I'm not saying Lamar hasn't been progressing year in and year out, but this year, man, the way he's progressed as a passer, the way he just like I think what gets people upset, right? When you make that play on the sideline, if you remember, he made a play on the sideline that's just outrageous on that right side where he's so athletically gifted that you can't stop something like that. And it's almost instinctual, you know? But then to see him, you know, finding ways to layer the football into places that you normally don't see a lot of quarterbacks doing, and to see him constantly, like, doesn't matter what the situation is, at least lately, finding a way to get this team to win the game. And then you have, like, the way he's progressed as a passer, combined with the fact that this team puts so much pressure on you in the run game, bruh. The Ravens are a serious problem.
But bro, this is the thing though, and I've been preaching this maybe because I'm Lamar, that's my guy, right? So sometimes my take is a little more biased. But I feel like the reason why they never let him do what he's doing now is because the defense was so good they didn't need him to.
Sure.
Now that the defense is lacking and we gotta score points, now you saying, well, Lamar Jackson could have been doing it. I look at the Chiefs and you look at the Ravens, right? They basically swap spots. Pat Mahomes used to have to put up 30 or 40 to win games. His defense now don't allow him to do that because why? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to. We're not even giving up 40. So why you got to put up 40? Now Lamar is so used to not giving up 30 points and not having to put up 30 that they just swap roles. So if you literally look at the situation, Lamar is what Pat used to have to be, and Pat is what Lamar used to have to be, where he letting his defense do the job, and Pat just coasting along, and Lamar is letting him do the job while his defense is lacking. You know what I'm saying? So they basically just swap spots. But when your defense, bro, is top 5 in the league every year, I don't expect you to have to put up 30, 40 points, 300 yards, and 4 touchdowns passing. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's always had this skill. He just never had to use it because of the defense was so good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, there was times in his younger years where, like, they would get in a hole and then they wouldn't win the game. And that ended up being, they would put more onus on the quarterback. It's just what they do, right? If they're going to blame anybody, it's going to go on the quarterback. But what I've seen, at least this year, not saying that he hasn't been able to do it in the past, more so is just that I'm watching a guy that right now, like that Bengals game, they're in a hole, right? Shit don't matter.
Don't matter.
And that is, to me, the scary part about the Ravens is
100%.
It used to be the Ravens basically, like, you get down to them, they're gonna cook you through they're gonna run it down your throat. Is over. Yeah. Now, if you're telling me this team can get down 14, fourth quarter nothing, third quarter nothing, bro, they're down big in that game, and they got the Bengals like, we got to go for 2 and try to win it right now. We don't want to go to overtime with these guys. Like,
yeah, they shook.
The Ravens, man, are a problem. So I'm just excited to watch Lamar progress, and I think for fantasy purposes, especially as well, he's one for me just because, dude, man, this guy right now is carrying teams in Superflex. One quarterback too, probably, but like, dog, he just is a walking 30 piece weekly at this point,
and he got the league's leading rusher right behind him. So it's like it's not even like he doing all the work. He got the leading rusher behind him in the same offense. So how do you still have the QB1 label as far as fantasy points, and you still got the running back taking goal line touchdowns and 100-yard games from you, and you still leading, bro? So
yep,
man, listen, I don't mean to keep glazing the Ravens every week, man, but hey, listen, bro, they're my dogs right there, man.
Hey, look, man, so, I'm getting ready pretty soon to just be like, look, y'all keep calling them the Ravens, but this is really the Browns, and I'm just gonna start claiming them because
same division, right?
Dog, this is the Browns. This is the Browns. The Browns. This was the Browns. They went to Baltimore. Like, this is the Browns.
Oh, okay.
Y'all just keep calling them the Ravens. So I'm gonna start claiming them because this new expansion Browns. It's a disaster, bro.
It's an expansion.
They had a, you know what, man? They had a bye this week, so we don't got to talk about them. Let's keep going. You know,
brother. Thank you. We don't want brown stains on our plates this morning, brother.
The Bengals, though, I will say, this is 2 teams that are in the division. It's tough. Look, I don't really like either of these teams as a fan. I love watching both of them play. You kind of got to feel for the Bengals, though, man. 4-6 after they put up a hell of a game versus that Ravens team too, and they're getting to the point now where their backs against the wall and losing that game. And it's like when they score the game time touchdown, you can see all the emotion. Everybody's up, and then that 2-pointer doesn't go through, and it's like, dang, like they feel like they can't get their season right, man.
But I'm gonna ask you, bro. Like you said, they went for 2, right? Because they were shook. But my thing is this: in a game like this. I know it's easy to say now, but I had this conversation with my boy Voorhees, right? Yeah. When the Chiefs, and the Chiefs and Tampa played their game and they went into overtime, or did they go to overtime, or it was about to go to overtime, right?
This week,
the Chiefs and the Bucs, last Monday.
I don't think they did. Did they go to overtime?
It was like the last drive, like situation. But I'm just saying that to say
it did go to overtime. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when the Bucs are going against the Chiefs, as the Bucs, you supposed to lose that game. So now I'm going for 2 because I know I don't have a chance in overtime against the Chiefs, right? But when the Bengals are going against the Ravens, bro, we are going neck and neck. We can go to overtime because we can go. If they score, we gonna score. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what made them say we so scared of overtime that we have to go for 2. Because like I said,
I got you on the answer though.
That's what I'm saying. The Bucs versus the Chiefs. If I'm the Bucs, I'm going for 2 because man, we ain't got no shot against them. That's so the Bucs is the team that should have went for 2, not the Bengals versus the Ravens. You know what I'm saying?
I actually was thinking about this as it was happening, and I started on kind of the same side. Like, man, like you got a chance in overtime. The thing was, when you look at it, that game wasn't going to overtime. I get why they went for 2. The Ravens scored 4 straight touchdowns in a row. Remember that how they were down? The Ravens scored 4 straight touchdowns in a row. They had timeouts, and they got I believe, still the biggest joker card in the game. A guy that's going to just hit. Yep. Well, not just him, Tucker. They got the automatic guy from 60. Like,
true. I mean, but Jamar Chase, bro,
they're going. The thing is, the Bengals ain't getting the ball back. The Ravens are going down and hitting a Justin Tucker field goal. They walking off. It's a wrap.
But if they kick the field goal, then they still get the ball back though.
Well, the Ravens are going to run the clock down. They're going to run it all the way down and kick that thing at the game, and it's over. So I think.
I mean, because you're right. It was still time on the clock.
It was like 40 seconds or 30 seconds or something.
Right.
So like,
yeah, you're right.
I was thinking about it and I was thinking, Taylor, like, I get it, you're an offensive guy, but it wasn't. I think he made the correct call just because they scored. You know what's crazy? This game has become so advanced now. It's like they scored too quick. If they score with like 15 seconds. If they score 15 seconds, okay, let's go to overtime. You can't give Lamar the ball back with 40 seconds and timeouts. It's a wrap.
That's like Dallas giving Aaron Rodgers the ball back, right? We did it too many times, and he did what he did to us.
Lamar was not to be stopped if he got that rock back.
I'm with you on that, man. Well, shout out your boy Jamar Chase, man. 11
hell of a game. 3 TDs,
3 touchdowns, bro. He basically solidified himself as the guy that we was tripping on passing on because he was holding out.
Yeah, remember, I was just about to say, remember how long ago it feels when he was holding out and his season's cooked?
I know. Yep. I ain't forget it. But, shout out to him, man. And shout out to the good old Ravens, man. They gonna keep doing their thing. I ain't going to break down all the games, man. But I did want to bring this one up, Adam, because
we got number 2 earlier, just so you know. We're early.
We ain't got to talk about the game, but more so the scenario. And I just wanted to bring up Bryce Young winning 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones pretty much. Did he still have his job, bro? I mean, is he coming in next week as the starter?
Yeah. There's just nobody else. I just don't think there's anybody else there. But we need, and we can talk about a different part of it with the Giants soon here. Dude, this game at the end there, it was kind of a good game, at least for what you expect of Germany at a point of these two teams.
It was a Germany game, right? The U.S. soil did not deserve to see this,
bro,
at all.
Like, I'm looking forward to a 10 o'clock cook-up. I'm never looking forward to watching these early games. Like, I get up early, like, I'm not watching a regular game. Like, I get my mindset right going into this. Like, don't expect some crazy game. The Giants and Panthers both at the end of this game felt like they both wanted to give it away. Like, Tyrone Tracy fumbling that ball. The Panthers just didn't seem to have – honestly, like, Bryce has – I will say he's looked better since coming back from the benching. But this offense was Chuba Hubbard, man. And Chuba Hubbard is the story of the Panthers, in my opinion. I actually saw the news break from a Fizzle Dolla's Discord drop. Remember when Jonathan Brooks was supposed to be the chosen one this offseason? And I was like, hold on, man. So I forget what screenshot it was. The account in my mind, I'm like, hold on, is this for real? Like, tell me he didn't get played on like a, it's one of these fake accounts. And I'm like, damn, like they really bagged up Chuba before Brooks even touched ground.
Yeah, bro.
And then the following game is like Chuba's just like, all right, you got faith in me? Watch this. Let me get a career day for y'all. Let me make sure the decision is correct.
I'm telling you.
That part was fun to watch because dude, Fizz, you probably remember I was talking about Chuba all offseason, and I invested in Dynasty because it was what's the investment? It's a penny stock. So this third and the fourth has turned into a guy that I already knew had the short term, but now potentially has some long term. And I'm kind of curious to see what it is when Brooks comes back. But I'm just curious in general for you, as far as the Giants thing goes. Let's turn the chapter, man. Let's get Dimes out of here. Let's get Neighbors back to being the promised one, and let's get some new QB play up in here, man. It's ugly.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, I expected Neighbors to be like just have a down year. So I kept preaching that I'm not buying Neighbors, I'm not drafting them, and it wasn't nothing to do with him. I just was praying that the season would be so bad that whoever took him, they get tired of him by week 15, week 18 during the summer.
Fizzle on the swoop, yeah.
And I could just be like, look, bro, take this 105 and 25 and regroup, reload that clip, but. He kind of surprised me. He's been a lot better than what I thought, but maybe if the play still is what it is, man, you might still be at the buy low. So, unfortunately, I did that purposely to not draft Neighbors because I said, man, people taking them in the 4th round in startups, I might can give up a 104 in next year during the year and get them back. So, we'll see how that work out for me, man. But yeah, shout out to Bryce Young, man. He got 2 wins on his belt, and hopefully. With the smile he had on his face, man, it's always good to see him, look confident. Because that week when he got benched, bro, he looked like he had tears in his eyes, man. I thought he was overcooked. So glad to see him get his win, man. Do his thing in Germany.
Yeah,
and I don't want to expand on this game either, bro. There's a lot of bad football play this weekend. You really want to break it down?
Really, but. Yeah. As a whole, there was a lot to be desired from most of these games. We talk about the big exciting game early, but there was a lot of games.
Well, breaking news, this is the game I'm about to go to. The Chicago Bears just fired their OC, and for them to put up 3 points against the Patriots, bro, what is going on here? Not mind you, you have Caleb Williams, the 101. You got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DeAndre Swift. The Patriots probably don't have one player on their team. You could put their whole receiving group together and it wouldn't equal up to DJ Moore or maybe even Keenan Allen at this point. And they only put up 3 points with this offense, man. So we don't got to expand on the game, but what's your take on the Bears right now, bro? What's your take on the Bears right now?
At the crib, too. Honestly, well, it's just interesting when you go down the list to talk about them right after the Panthers because they're doing the same thing the Panthers did, except for they have talent on the other side of the ball.
Exactly. The Panthers at least got an excuse, right?
The Panthers, that was the thing when they made that big move for Bryce. And when it's funny trading DJ Moore from Carolina to Chicago, as we talk about this.
Yep.
Part of the problem when you made that specific trade was dang, but how are you going to supplement the passing game with a guy that you just invested in? And then, they get Mingo. They keep trying to draft a guy. The talent on the offensive side of the ball is part of the issue, and I think part of the reason that people were surprised about a Bryce Young benching is because, what's he supposed to do? They went out and got Deontay. They've been trying to do some stuff. Deontay's already gone, but when I think about the Bears, there was a moment in the season. The difference, though, there was a 2-week stretch. There was okay, Caleb might be coming alive here. This thing might start to cook up. Speaking of the cook up. Man, we are past the overcooked segment. It is a wrap. This offense, they had to do something. The Patriots have some talent on defense. Christian Gonzalez is a great corner. They have some very good talent on defense. But 3 points at home versus New England is inexcusable. And
inexcusable, bro.
It's been getting worse, man.
Especially
this
when your
defense
is just as good as the Patriots. So if you got 3, you shouldn't have gave up 19. The Patriots should have had 3. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting ridiculous. And we all know, I'm a Justin Fields guy, but we all know, man, we've been screaming it for years. The offensive play calling, man, is the problem. I'm not saying that Fields probably wasn't a problem, but if Caleb was in Washington, Caleb would be QB1 and we'd be walking around screaming buy him or sell him or whatever the case. I know Jaden is Jaden, that's a whole nother story, but if Caleb had Cliff the way Jaden got Cliff, we wouldn't have this conversation, man. It's the play calling in this league, bro. It's getting ridiculous when it comes to these young quarterbacks, and everybody blame the young quarterbacks, but they never look at the situations around them. So, Enough of that bear poop, man. I'm tired of talking about that garbage. And Chris, this is what I was saying, bro. My goal was to try to get Neighbors.
He was hoping if Neighbors
stunk it up so bad, yeah.
If Daniel Dimes couldn't support Neighbors, you could buy in this range. But
I doubt that I can do it now. But
heck no. You can't.
But I say this, by week 17, man, if you go out there and give me about 5 duds in a row, well, maybe somebody get worried. You never know these days, man.
It's true. The one thing about Neighbors that I was talking about that I didn't actually expect. Like I don't think anybody should have expected him to come out and do exactly what he did early on, because he was setting the NFL record pace for everything.
Yeah,
but I was kind of saying how, like, the one thing about Neighbors and why I was willing to invest in Dynasty, because I'm more of a long-term player in general, is like, see, the thing is, if he does smash, what the ceiling is, there's no ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you
no
smash
doubt.
in that situation, we going to the top, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't think it was the scenario that was going to happen, like we saw. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of the year. I feel like Neighbors early on did enough to where it almost don't matter, because the baked-in excuses was always going to be the baked-in excuses. It's always going to be Daniel Dimes is the problem, and this offense stinks. So,
but I will say this though, Adam. Right? When you think about it, one thing I know about people, man, especially in Dynasty, bro,
short term
rookie season, them necks get the itching, man. They love them picks. You know what I'm saying? And if Neighbors finishes out the year as, let's just say, receiver 35, right? I don't see it happening, but let's just say receiver 35. Somebody might look at this class and just want to do it over. You know how people are, man. Come draft day, draft time, around that time of the season, man, people love draft picks. That was my goal, to just say, hey, man, Neighbors going in the 4th, late 3rd, early 4th, in startups. And if I could just pass and wait on it, man, I will. So that was my goal. It don't look like it worked, but hey, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We move on.
For sure. No, I mean, I think the sentiment made sense when you were drafting him too, because actually, here, you can pull it up. Chris is in a league with me. That's my brother-in-law, by the way. Shout out Chris.
Oh, okay, shout out Chris. What's up?
Yeah, he knows when he got a player that I like, Fizz. He knows, and he just kind of likes to dangle the like I'm a cat or something, like kind of dangle it in front of me. He does he put it about Pitts? He did. So yeah, Pitts was the last time I was like, man, I gotta have Pitts. I wish I wouldn't have gotten Pitts from him. I should have stuck you with that. Sorry, Pitts, man. But
hey, man, it's my boy, man. Come on,
only because, buddy, Fizz, I was as invested as you could be in Pitts. I sent him 3 firsts, it was 2 firsts and Deontay, which one of him was his pick that he turned into 101 or 102 for Pitts. That was a terrible, terrible trade. One of my worst trades in Dynasty. I sent him 3 firsts for Neighbors, and he's like, keep it. I got Neighbors.
Damn. All right. Well, hopefully he closes out with 6 more duds, and maybe you can lower the 2 first. How about that, man? Sorry I gave the game plan away, Chris, but it is what it is, brother.
It is what it is, man. But what do you? Okay, the next game. Well, you tell me what game you want to talk about next.
I'm about to say, because I don't want to run through all of them. I'm just trying to hit pinpoint ones. But what game you want to bring up, bro? We can go.
I was going to talk about. Just curious your thoughts too here on this one. One of the games that was fun to watch and that I was excited for, and you rarely get to see McCaffrey at 1:00, was the return of Christian McCaffrey. So
Well, first of all, shout out to Ricky Pearsall, man, for scoring a touchdown. It was a long play touchdown. It wasn't like he just got on the goal line at 1 yard. He actually ran a route, cut across, got the pass. You know what I'm saying? So to be getting shot in the chest literally 4 or 5 months ago to scoring your first touchdown, and by week 10, man, that's a hell of a thing to see, man. So shout out to him, bro, for speedy recovery, and as you know, and medicine is different, man. Because if this happened in 2001, man, he might be out for 5 years. Who knows? So
for sure.
I'm glad to see he back. You know what I'm saying?
No, he to me was I was calling him like one of the biggest jokers in the class. Talking about, like, I said how Tucker in NFL football is a joker. One thing, this is a total side tangent, but since I'm here, I'm just going to do it. One thing that still is like the craziest thing about football to me. When you look at football, right? Like in that scenario, let's say the Bengals don't go for 2. They kick the field goal. But they kick the extra point. Now what's going to happen is a game is going to be decided in a huge game by a person that's really not even a part of the team, frankly. Like we're gonna trot out a guy that basically plays 1% of snaps. all the great players are going to be on the sideline watching and have that person decide the game. Like, we're going to take all the shooters off the court and we're going to have this guy decide the game. And he's going to be, lifted above everybody's shoulders or not at the end. It's what football is, but it's just kind of one of the crazier things to me.
That's a wild scenario, brother. I never thought of it, but that's a hell of a point, right? All the best players that you pay money to see will be on the sideline watching.
They're on the sideline watching who wins.
We're gonna trust this guy that plays 1% of the game to ice it for us, right?
Yeah, and if he wild. To the speaking of the Bears, back with Mitch, that kicker, right? It was his fault. They lost. They could have won. They could have kept going. Anyway, that's a side team.
That's a good point though. I like that one. But to your original point, you said Christian McCaffrey, right? Coming back to the game.
What I was coming back to the game with was with Ricky Pearsall, he was the biggest joker, meaning that's how I got there. As I was talking about, he was a joker. And his was more so if Ayuk got traded, the Ricky Pearsall card, that joker card, turns into something crazy.
Fact.
The thing is, Ayuk ended up getting hurt. He didn't, and he got shot. So there was the slow play delay of that. Then Ayuk gets hurt, and Debo's kind of been. I'm not gonna say the talent's not there. It's just not been the season that I think everybody's expected with Debo. So all of a sudden, the opportunity here in Frisco for him was really mounting. But Juwan Jennings had this 50-point game. So now it's like, all right, well, is the Ricky Pearsall explosion coming? It was good to see him have that long touchdown. I think he's a guy that should be getting more and more comfortable and involved in this offense. So
I think he's in the right
like
offense,
to see it.
though.
Well,
I think he's with the right coach. Like if he was with, if you look at Leggett, if Leggett was in a different offense, we might be talking about a whole different guy. If you put Leggett over there in Green Bay for Christian Watson or something, might be a whole nother guy, man. So
yeah.
My damn dog, man. He hates the neighbors for some reason.
I couldn't actually hear the dog, but I was wondering if it was the kids or something. I was like, somebody over there is acting up.
He hates the neighbors, bro. He always going off. He hate them. I don't know what it is, bro. But
Ricky Peter, he stole the show early from CMC, at least his return, because you know what's crazy about the CMC return, at least for me, it felt very lackluster, but because he didn't get in the end zone, this guy was minus 250 to score a touchdown. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah, man.
But
hey, listen, they put some respect on his name.
They weren't playing around. They're like, listen, he is the cover of Madden still, although the curse is real. He's the guy. But the thing for me was the snap share and the way in which I think in general Mason started off hot, but you could have seen this coming as far as him falling off, but not to this degree, man. Like,
it's like, was he?
They listen, man. We're gonna give you one carry outside on his own read, and then everybody else it's over for him. So McCaffrey just comes back and is gonna get this type of work. Although it wasn't like the dominant Christian McCaffrey game, those are just going to happen if he is featured like this.
Yeah. It's almost like either they kept him out an extra game or two to make sure he was fully healthy for this workload, or they just said, hey, we need to win, and you our guy, go do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't look like it was no serious limit on CMC and him being back. If you look at the other side of the ball, though, man, Baker, I know somebody had brought it up. I think it was Chris talking about the stiff arm. The stiff arm, bro. Listen, man, Baker is a dog. I know y'all in Cleveland miss him very much.
I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, listen, a lot of us were. I love the Baker, like the player in Baker, but I just thought he was too reckless sometimes. He was all over the place, whatever. But yeah, man, this dude got too much heart to not be a quarterback in this league. Whether it's for a good team or bad team, Baker just want to ball, man. Baker just remind me of that dude, bro, that's in one of those high school football movies and the whole town love him and they take, you know what I'm saying? He can never get in trouble no matter what he do when he in town, probably in Texas or Florida somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude, man.
Do you remember I'll never forget the video of him getting run down by the police and him trying to run away back in college and all that stuff. This is a reckless dude, but man, it hurts, Fizz. I'll just be honest. When you think, okay, listen, as a guy that started to do content for the entire draft, and every year not having a first round pick because the Browns got their quarterback. They finally solved the quarterback position. To not have solved the quarterback position, and to watch
and give away
watch Baker out here stiff arming
contract, which we just move on. Go ahead, keep going.
No, you not wrong. It's just
you gave away picks and the money, bro. Sheesh.
All the whole kit and caboodle. Man, to watch also Baker now, like that's a dude that's not physically gifted, holding off the defensive player
for like 10 yards, bro.
Yeah, like to me, it was already going to be impressive just watching it if he didn't get taken to the ground.
Facts.
Then he makes the play. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
Now I will say this though, Bucky. Shout out to Bucky for catching that because it's nothing worse, bro, than watching a highlight reel, especially on basketball. Where I done seen saw somebody up, he done failed. He done crossed somebody up. He passed it to the corner, and the dude shoot an air ball. Right? It's nothing worse than seeing that. So to see what Baker
it's like
did,
N1 mixtape where you got the highlights where it's just dribbling, and then the ball they cut the play before it gets finished because somebody he messed it up.
Right? So shout out to Bucky for catching that because if Bucky would have dropped that or missed the play, it would have definitely blew me.
Yeah, the whole vibe would have been awesome.
It was, and it was a key play. I think it was fourth down.
It was fourth down, and I'll never forget. I'll tell you why I knew because you see that red line where the yellow line is red on fourth. He's like, dang, that play is huge. And this is already speaking of heart and grit. This is a player that at that point was keeping them in this game versus this loaded Niners team, even though they're down Ayuk, they're down players, with no Godwin, no Evans, throwing the ball to Bucky, to your point, because Cade Otton's out here dropping passes. Cade Otton had one. Baker Mayfield is it's fun to. It was fun to watch him. I wish he was in a Browns jersey doing that, but
yeah,
that type of grit is exactly what the Browns need, and they don't have.
100%. It's a guy like that, man. And I say this all the time, bro. No knock on Watson, but he just kind of too calm sometimes, right?
Bro,
his
demeanor
motivate you to want to do anything for you.
Nah, his demeanor was honestly alarming to me. Like, I get it, and I get people have their different like DNAs, right? Like he's a calm, chill, mild-mannered dude as far as his charisma and his persona. But it's time. There has to be a wake-up call. Like, you are out here and you're looking aloof and you're looking like disengaged to the situation because you just go up there like everything's cool. When you're getting paid a fully guaranteed contract and ass cheeks, you are ass out here, bro. Like you ain't even mid. You were terrible.
Money don't change you sometimes, bro. I mean, this is one thing I know about teams like the Browns, right? When you got a franchise like the Browns, and I say this about the Jaguars and other bad teams that has been historically
losing
bad,
culture you're speaking to. Yep.
You're losing culture, right? You need a QB that's gonna walk in there and demand respect. Like soon as he walk in the door, people were like looking up, like, oh, he here. Like almost like the principal was in the office. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. The principal's in the office.
Or you got a Lamar Jackson where you go to sleep at night. You might even talk to your wife like, man, we winning them. We winning. We got Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have that feeling about your quarterback when you a losing franchise, because if you don't, you're gonna keep losing. Like you gotta have a chill guy in a good team because that's just him. He's so much of a dog. You ain't worried about. He's so much of a dog. His demeanor don't need to change.
Right, but and that was a big question for him. Was like, is his mild manneredness too? I
feel like Jalen Hurts is like that. Jalen Hurts ain't no fiery guy.
And look what happened when they lost. They started losing last year. Come on, man. Jalen Hurts don't have command of the team. The narrative started coming. You're right.
Jalen Hurts is just a chill guy, man. But he got that respect in that locker room. And I think losing franchise need a Baker Mayfield to just go in there and slam the helmet on the ground, smash the locker, punch the. Hey, man, let's get this shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's funny as you say that because I don't know if you remember this or I may have a much more fond memory of it because I was local. They had the coolers locked up, right? They had these coolers locked up because the Browns hadn't won a game in so long at home. And so when they win this game, and he came in mid-game for Tyrod and they beat the Jets and they unlocked the coolers, it was like, to your point, with losing culture, you have to go in and shake it up because if you don't, the culture kind of just has this like stankin' stigma and just like wafty smell in the air that just kind of stays stagnant and continues to cause the entire thing to feel like it's being brought down. What's really crazy about it, to your point though, is that that's a team that like overcame the last year with Flacco, and this is a coach of the year twice that's got a team winning 2 games. But I'll say, I guess, with this situation with Baker there in Tampa, it's really a shame for me when I watch it too, in a sense though, because man, this team should be, with those Godwin the way he was playing with Evans.
Oh yeah,
this was a team that was going to be very much in the mix, and
100%.
You're like,
there's a playoff
can't
game
overcome
right
it.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Evans can come back healthy, and they can hopefully salvage something. They can still
they're
push.
Sitting there at 4-6. They're in the mix. It's just, you could just tell it's like the uphill climb is just so much now on offense.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because Baker playing his heart out, man. But
he was a warp. Speaking of warp, he was a warp god before this, man. Like,
listen,
a non-runner in the mix of all the running quarterbacks, man.
He was up there with Lamar Jackson, like literally, like right there with him. And we talking about Baker Mayfield here, bro. This man couldn't get a job. He was fighting for a job, man.
He was coming in for the Rams behind the injured Matthew Stafford. You know, like, what in the world?
But I think Sean McVay turned him up, bro. Because if you look at that one game he played, man, Baker looked like he was ready, bro. Yeah, I think the league seen that.
To the point you have with finishing this, wrapping up the Niners, you know, the McVays of the world, the Shanahan. Why can I not think of his name? The Shanahans of the world. Dude, those offenses just cruise, my friend. Goodness.
But
it's
matters,
crazy
brother.
to see. And they win that game. The Niners, you could feel that they weren't scoring in the red zone the way. I think they'll get that right. They're a half game or a game out of the division lead. The Cardinals actually have it, which is kind of surprising. But I'm kind of curious your thoughts on a different game here. You talked about J-Day already. I was going to go to pivot to the Steelers and the Commanders game. Listen, man, that was a game I think early on in the season, if you were penciling it, you'd be like, why? You know, why are you penciling that game in?
Yeah, facts.
This was the game outside of the Ravens and Bengals game that was like, you can't look away from.
Nah, for sure. And the crazy part about this game, though, Adam, right? When you look at the game as a whole, I mean, Russ, he got George Pickens looking like George Pickens, right? We all know what George Pickens can do.
You know what's funny is Mike was like, I feel like Mike doesn't like when George Pickens is in his element and kind of just acting goofy and crazy. He on the recap, he kept saying he looks like a squirrel. He's kind of like just doing too much. I love seeing GP in his element.
But that's him.
Man. I love seeing him in his element.
I mean, not to keep going back, but picture Baker Mayfield and George Pickens on the same team, bro. It'd be flags everywhere, man. They be drinking beer, smashing all type of stuff, bro. George Pickens is one of those dudes, bro. You can't turn him down. You got to turn him up because that's how he plays. He plays better when he turned up. And
the one thing for sure, pivoting from Fields to Wilson, which I was not in favor of the call at the time, but the one thing I definitely saw was like, listen, Russ is a guy that does throw a good deep ball and a good contested catch ball, which is exactly what can unlock a guy like Pickens. And that has been clear and obviously huge for him.
Pickens don't get separation, bro, but he know how to fold his body and twist and
contort.
Turn.
He can contort that thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that
catch in the end zone was ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, that's nobody else would have caught that but him. Like maybe
and held on to it. The one thing about Pickens is like, you know how they got spectacular catch in Madden, Fizz?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like his is like when he'll drop a pass every now and again, but when the moment is brightest, like that big crazy catch, he's not gonna drop that thing. He's gonna make sure he hauls it in, bro.
100%. I mean, but honestly though, bro, this is a hell of a game. I didn't expect it to be any less. The one thing I will say though is that this Washington team to me is one of the best teams in the league. But so far, man, they ain't beat nobody that was a good team, right? The teams that they lost,
Hail Mary versus them Bears, they scored 3 points, right?
Yeah. I mean, ain't knocking them because you're playing this schedule, right?
I'm with you,
but I'm just saying, so far. The 3 losses was the Steelers, Tampa, and the Ravens. And they got Philly this week.
And the old Tampa team was a hell of a ball club when they're healthy.
And that was week 1. That was week 1 too.
And those other 2 teams are no slouches at all.
No slouch. But no, like I said, no knock on the Commanders, man. But that defense had Jaden in the pocket The only difference about this game when you look at Jay numbers, and I saw in the recap, was no worry about him, but bro, the damn running backs keep stealing all the touchdowns. Every time they get down to the goal line, if you look at Jay numbers, for fantasy purposes, I think he had like under 10 points. But if you give him 1 or 2 of them touchdowns, bro, he in double digits easy. And he gets them to those goal line situations. But Eckler, Brian Robinson, you give it to anybody in that backfield, they're gonna score. McNichols. So even Terry McLaurin had a pass where he could have fell in the end zone, but he got tackled on the 1 yard line. So this little nuance and stuff like that is fantasy worthy for him to make his numbers go down. But this game, all in all, was a good shootout game, hell of a game. I don't expect nothing less this week on Thursday, right? When they played the Eagles, Hurts and J-Day back and forth.
It's a short week for the Commanders coming up, and it's one of those where, like, it was kind of interesting to me the Ravens started so slow versus the Bengals this week because the Thursday games favor the home team so much because the short week and travel and all that. So I'm very interested to see how the Commanders.
Well, at least the travel ain't too far though. It ain't but like 2.5 hours, so it ain't as bad.
Just from the standpoint of like what you're able to do because you have to build in the travel on the day and stuff. But
yeah.
I think what I'm watching with the Commanders anyway is with J-Day, what's been the most impressive to me because. Listen, you're a guy that's talented and you go out and you play well. And when things are going right, they're going to go right. And I think even for any player, when they're going right, that's all good. For me, when they're not going right or when it's not going his way, he's not getting the end zone, he has this team right there in the mix. And he doesn't fold. He doesn't waver, bro.
They believe in him. That confidence, bro. When he walk in and smile, they like, oh, we good.
Yeah, everything you're talking about there to me is like it's a feel thing where
100%.
You know that this player has not just the belief in the locker room, but the belief in himself to where that organization is in such a better place right now since making that pick than they were prior. It's exponential. But
Adam, think about this. They're in a better place not just because of the pick. They got a new owner. They got Magic Johnson.
Everything's different.
Magic Johnson walking around. He had to go playing, out talking to the people. You got new coach, new offensive coordinator. It's a breath of fresh air, bro.
It's all changed.
And sometimes
the losing culture normally doesn't shift that quickly. And to your point, it normally takes a long uphill battle to unroot that type of shit.
It doesn't.
It is quickly gone, which is honestly like almost miraculous, frankly. Like it's crazy to see how quickly it's shifted.
Now, look, I got everybody call him J-Day now, but you know what I'm saying? That's just you got to do it, man.
I literally when I make a file, I make a hologram, I name it J-Day. I actually put JAYDAY on mine.
J-Day, baby, J-Day all day. But then, not to span on this game too long, but my biggest thing with Jayden is not Jayden, the Commanders as a whole. Like I said, they winning games against kind of teams that they should beat. But if you look at this roster, and this is what I try to preach about it, they just one piece away. Oh, I ain't gonna say one, but if you look at the receiver room, Noah Brown isn't a receiver too.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
They're very much to your point, maybe not a piece away, but they're a draft or two away. And what's scary 100%. About a team like this is when you have
a free agency away. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was. Man, we in lockstep today too. It's crazy. We've been on such a wavelength because what you're talking about with him is J-Day's on a rookie contract. So when you got a guy this good, Deshaun Watson, part of the problem people kind of fail to realize if he was going to be good, he's ass, so he's not. When you put that type of money into a player like that, though, you can't surround him with the players he's had his whole career in the Houston Texans, right? When they're on a rookie contract, you can juice the whole
team.
Play
around, do what you want.
Washington is in a situation where it's like in Dynasty. You're in a rebuild, and all of a sudden you look around, you're like, damn, I'm in the mix. I got draft picks to play with. I got you. You feel like you got the whole world at your disposal.
100%.
And they're in the position to play. One thing, though, I will say, pivoting before we get to the next game, with the Steelers, and it's on the same exact breath and the same point. The Steelers have been in a search for a QB for so long. Mike Tomlin, I hate talking about the Steelers in a good way, so let me just go ahead and do it. Mike Tomlin has this team never outside of the mix, but ever since, if you remember their last year with Ben, they were undefeated. They ended up losing to the Commanders to break that undefeated streak. But they were such a shell of themselves at the later part of the year, and they ended up losing. But since Big Ben, they have not had a QB that's even. If they sneak in the playoffs, who gives a shit? This team's ass. Mason Root, whoever it was. This team right now, they are paying nothing to the QB position, and they have two talented quarterbacks. I
was about to say, because if Russ
quarterbacks that are veterans now,
if Russ gets hurt,
around with all this team, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, if you are sleeping at all on the Pittsburgh Steelers, wake the fuck up.
Nah,
like
for sure.
I'm telling you, this team right now is a problem, and if Watt stays healthy, I'm just gonna say this: I don't think they lose. I don't think they lose with Watt in there. That dude is. They don't get a lot of limelight, man. That dude is a absolute man amongst boys.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this, brother. They got the Ravens this Sunday. How we feeling?
Yeah, I got it on. I already got the thumbnail, as you saw. I don't want to spoil it for everybody. Yep. I already got the thumbnail for the North.
Yeah, man.
The Ravens. It's funny how things change. It's a team that started slow. People were worried about. Come on, man, chill out. It's early. Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Now you got the Ravens and the Steelers here. I'll tell you the truth, Fizz. I'm just excited to watch this game, bro. Like, this game
for sure. Honestly,
one I got penciled. I think the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to win it. I think the Steelers are going to win it. But I'll tell you the truth.
So?
What's fun? The reason I say it's fun though is because the Ravens this year are a team I could see them winning too. Because the Ravens have answered every bell, it feels like, of late. If something happens, Lamar he answers the bell.
But this is my thing. This is my thing with the Ravens, bro. Right? I say this. They remind me of the Cowboys. I say this all the time. That's probably why this is my team.
Okay.
Because when they play teams that they can beat, or they should beat, or they competing with, it's going to be a hell of a game, right?
Sure.
When they go against the Jaguars in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they're going to lose to them. Because that's what they do, bro. They going to make a game out of nothing for no reason. So I say that to say this Pittsburgh game should look just like the Bengals game. It should be 28-27, game ends with a field goal or whatever the scoring will be. I don't see this being no blowout on either side. Whatever team win, but it's going to come down to the last play or last drive for me with this game. So
yeah, and what makes it fun for the Steelers too is I think what's really cool about a game like this is if you think about what it's been in the division before, a muckfest kind of, and it could end up being more of a muckfest than people realize. These teams know each other so well. They 100%. Have such old. I cannot emphasize this point enough. Such old coaches relative to the NFL. These guys have been there for forever. Since I was in high school, Tomlin's been the coach. Like,
yeah, man.
Bro, I've almost lost all my hair. Like, bro, it is a. These guys know each other so well. They know their tendencies. They know what they want to do. They're going to make it tough. But the cool part is they have an offense in Pittsburgh with Russ at the helm and an offense with Lamar the way he's playing, that they both in the game-defining moments are going to make plays. And that's fun to watch at the end of the game.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt, man. We spent some time on it, man. But the Steelers and the Commanders, and to close out with my point against with the Commanders, what I was trying to say with the weapons thing. Mm-hmm. Long story short, what I was really trying to say with the weapon thing was, I think the reason why I'm not gonna say they're struggling because they still almost beat the Steelers, but I think they're gonna have a harder time with good teams because they don't have a receiver two that's better than Noah Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're going against Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. When you look at teams like that on your schedule, I just think it's going to be hard for them to win. Not compete, but win those games with just a Noah Brown as the receiver too.
Yeah, you need someone to be able to unlock Jaden more. And I think, though, it's still a win for the Commanders. I think your analysis is spot on.
This season is won. This season is won already.
They're already playing with house money to the point of, like, if they were to win one of those games, it's all just a cherry on top. But this team's in a great position. I'm with you, though. I think for now, they're more pretender than contender because of that. But I think this team is going to be a problem soon.
100%. 100%, man. Chef, my bad, bro. I ain't mean to take you down so fast, Playboy. Man. Let's move on, man. And listen, we've been expanding on these good games, man. And honestly, some of these games I didn't want to speak on because it was trash, but they got good narratives behind them, right? So
they trash too.
We ain't gonna talk long. We ain't gonna talk long on this one, man. But the Vikings struggling against the Jaguars.
Is that where you going? Oh my gosh!
We ain't gonna talk about it long. But give me your feeling on this Vikings offense this week, or was it just one of them weeks where we just gonna let it slide and move on, man? Maybe you know what? Cody was at this game. I'm gonna blame him because he went to this game, and
that's why Cody isn't here now. He's like, look, man, this game was so bad. I ain't even coming to work today.
I ain't gonna lie. I said, man, maybe Cody ain't like that. I was 1-10 on my white people trivia questions, and he just said that I ain't showing up, man. My boy don't understand me, man.
Hold on, man. I didn't catch all of it live, and I didn't catch that part live. So when I watched the short through, I'm like, Mike is crazy, bro. And the fact that the question you got correct was the question you got correct, I'm like, because I sat there and tried to answer them myself. I got 0 for 10 for the record as a white person.
And that's what I said. I had people text me like,
I know he probably saw that and just was like a kid in a candy store and was like, I got to put this on Fizzle Friday or whatever. But bro, you can't.
I know I wasn't.
Those questions are insane to try to guess correct.
Especially for the times we in, man. Mike went to some 1995 questions.
Well,
man.
That's like, it felt like it was on like a card or something in like a trivia question, like a Cracker Barrel, like in that little like
I'm telling you, bro,
the like little play area you come in before you get seated. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, people was like, man, you ain't you got one right. I'm like, bro, you wouldn't have answered them Jones either though, man. I mean, come on, man.
Tell them you got one right, but like the Vikings didn't score a touchdown, 12-7. They got a dub. That was better than what everyone else would have done. The Jaguars. That game was horrible. I have McCaffrey back in this league I'm playing in BDGE for 5K where I got my team would have been so good, bro. Godwin goes down, Evans is hurt, and I've been waiting on CMC for forever. So I got CMC back, and I'm like, I'm needing a win this week, and I'm going up against Darnold in a Superflex league, and I'm like, okay, throw another pick. Okay, throw another pick.
He did it, right?
and he had Darnold and Dimes as his Superflex options on the other side. Basically the reasons I ended up winning that game. But man, it was so. The thing is, if you're the Vikings fan, right? Like, I feel like you have to, if you're tied to the situation, feel like this was coming. But man, Darnold reverted in a bad way this last week, and he was unlikely to play at that earlier pace. But man, if you got all that, speaking of offensive talent, you got all that offensive talent over there. You can't score a touchdown versus the Jaguars, who are broken. It's not a good look, man.
No, it's not. I mean, they got the Titans this week, man. This might be a get right game for them. Who knows?
It could be a Mayo game day be delicious. Will Levis coming out party too.
Yeah, could be, man. I don't know if Flores gonna allow that, but we'll see, man. The Jaguars, we ain't definitely not gonna speak on. I guess, man, we can get down to the nitty gritty, man. Oh well, I said it before we skip this 1 o'clock games. That Chiefs field goal block, man, at the end of the game, bro. How bad are the Broncos? Like, how much did their heart break after that, man? Like, literally,
I'm about to win in
listening
Arrowhead
to the game on Red Zone, and I'm thinking, damn, Chiefs about to lose.
You about to win in Arrowhead, man.
Against the Chiefs, bro. Just imagine you, Sean Payton, you got the Broncos, Bo Nix, and you beating the best record team in your division,
the Steelers
in the league.
You're paying Russell Wilson still. That money's on their books. You got Bo Nix, who everybody said you've reached on. You went and got the quarterback that wasn't supposed to go in the first round. About to win this game. Sean Payton was about to be looking crazy, like just grinning ear to ear.
He had a fresh pair of Jordan sitting on the sideline for just to walk in on the field with.
He was about to be talking that talk, and
he was.
This is one of the. I want to say this. This is one of those things that is gone under appreciated or noticed or something with the Chiefs. Mahomes already is a cheat code. Like, let's just call it what it is. He's so damn
100%.
good. They find ways, Fizz, with him to find this type of shit continues to happen where it's like
they got the juice, bro.
A game they're supposed to lose.
They got
the special teams unit comes out and gets like a absolutely unreal play. Crazy.
This is the workings of a Super Bowl team, bro. Like, when you got it, man. It's just like how we talked about.
You know what's crazy about? Can I tell you what's really crazy about it? I don't mean to cut you off, but I'll get right back to you. That field goal block. What really goes unnoticed about this is Denver did not score a point in the second half.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So they were going to win this game that they shouldn't have.
You're right. They scored 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. They ain't scored the first, third, or fourth.
And to what it should have been to what it was, whew, that's tough, man. Because now the Broncos are 5-5. I think they're still overachieving and a good team.
Yeah.
But this is a team that should be, 6-4 and just beat the Chiefs at home and feeling on cloud 9.
Well, they definitely shouldn't have a better record than the Miami Dolphins, but they do. The Jets.
Well, that Dolphins had when Tua was out, that was one of the worst teams in football, unfortunately.
Well, the Jets is, no excuse for them. The Bengals.
Turn the page. They're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos, man, they did their thing, bro. But that's just such a gut-wrenching loss, bro, that I think, man, that has set you back a week, man, just mentally. Like, man, I don't even want to kind of work tomorrow, coach. Like, no practice, please, man. We got to sit at home and just soak in this one, man. It's
that's when a guy like Peyton's gonna call you in to run suicide sprints because they lost that game.
That's one of those high school practices, like 2-a-days. Like, I don't care how much y'all getting paid. I don't care how much y'all getting paid, man. We having a 2-a-day practice today. So
facts.
Let's keep it moving, and we're gonna go ahead and touch on the we're gonna breeze through it, man. Eagles and the Cowboys, man. Wasn't nothing to talk about, bro.
I was gonna let you only call this one up.
No, it's cool because honestly, bro, listen, we doing what I want us to do, right? I keep telling these people, bro. We just talked about leadership. You heard what Michael Parsons said about his own coach this week, right?
I did. I saw some people tweeting like, this can't be real. I did. I heard him.
Oh, so this is what I mean, bro. Leadership. When you walk in, I tell people, right, when you go to work and you looking at your boss, your supervisor, he's a dickhead, and you like, man, I'm gonna do half my job today. Even though they paying me to do it, I'm a barely work today. But when you go to work, when y'all hire me, man, I come to work every day feeling good. I come on these shows feeling like, hey, I'm ready to lock in, get to work. But when you got a
no
guy,
strings attached, right?
When you got a guy over top of you like Mike McCarthy, who you don't believe in the first place, you ain't gonna play your best. And you looking at the vibe of the team. Dan Quinn, to me, was always the head coach of this team when he was a defensive coordinator. I think he gave up the Broncos job because remember the Broncos wanted him 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he passed on that because he thought maybe he could replace McCarthy. And once he realized he couldn't, he just said, look, I'm out. But the players still talk about him now. I watched Diggs and Parsons. They say, man, Quinn had you running through a wall for him. Like, Dan Quinn, he's a player's coach. I'm not saying he's the best head coach, but it's a reason why Bobby Wagner want to play with this man everywhere he goes.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, some of the best coordinators, this is a people get this misconstrued. I really believe in a big way. Just because you're not a very good head coach doesn't mean you're not one of the best coordinators in the game.
Facts.
A lot of times.
But when you got a coordinator around the mask, what you can't do as a head coach, sometimes that works too. I think if Kyle Shanahan would have stayed in Atlanta and Dan Quinn was still a head coach, they could have been maybe another Super Bowl. They end up losing the one against the Patriots. But
yeah, if Shanahan didn't, disastrously find a way to make them lose a 28-3 lead, like for who knows what we're talking about in Atlanta. Maybe, unfortunately, they wouldn't have Pitts and they wouldn't have Bijan because that GM wouldn't have been in place. But let's just say this to the point you're making here. I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I wasn't planning to break it off to you like this. As a team, as a guy,
we know what I want us to do, bro. Top 6 pick. That's what I want, baby.
I know what you want. Now, let me just give you the same problem that the Browns have in a worse way, in my opinion, for the Cowboys. All right, you're talking about the boss, right? And we're talking about Quinn. We're talking about McCarthy. Why is McCarthy in place? Why is McCarthy the head coach?
Because Jerry could tell him what to do.
Because Jerry, if they win, Jerry gets the praise.
100%.
In theory, the Belichick thing was never going to happen, in my opinion, because if Belichick comes in and wins, Jerry doesn't get the praise.
Yeah, and that's why I hate this Deion Sanders narrative. There's no way Deion would work under Jerry, bro. I don't ever see that happening because he's not. Deion is going to demand this is his team. There's not we're sharing this thing. I got this. There's a reason why Michael Irvin never had a job. He just did as a pep rally because they know what Jerry is.
No, and what Jerry is, honestly, to tell you the truth, is a serious problem. So I just want to kind of give you my quick thoughts on this.
Yeah, I got you.
Jerry is a guy that is basically, because he has so much money and so much power, he gets whatever he wants, right? In the world,
Yes,
in the world. And so the problem is the way that the NFL is run and structured with the salary cap. It's honestly, it's amazing how well run it is and how good of a league it is and how they just print money over there. And because it's so balanced and there's so much parity, you can't just go get whatever you want all the time. It's not how life works in the NFL. And
Yeah.
Jerry just wants to go get whatever he wants and overpay for things. And the biggest problem for the Cowboys is Jerry gets in his own way. And I just want you to understand this. A guy like him who's pretty much gets whatever he wants spoiled, he's the GM family. Like, I can't even understate this enough. You can get whoever you want to work for you, bro. You have to
anybody
be the GM. You're
job.
dying. You're getting ready to go into a box, and you want to be the GM as with no credentials to do so. Like that point, I think in general speaks to the problem that isn't going to go away for the Cowboys at the top, because Jerry will get in his own way because he wants to have the credit that isn't going to come because he gets in his own way.
I'm with you, bro. Listen, this is my biggest thing.
My only point, my point with that, getting back to the pit, I'll just pivot to you here. The pick, they're going to get a great pick, but what's Jerry going to do with it?
No, I'm with you. I mean, but when I say pick, right, I just be talking. But I really believe, though, bro.
There we go. I like that. I can respect that. I just be talking. I get that. All right.
Yeah, I really believe, though, bro, to be honest. I keep telling people, right, you can't fix things by patching them up, putting the holes and, putting tape and Band-Aids on these leaks, right? I think right now the media is digging in Jerry so bad, bro, that I think this summer he's really going to have to sit back and say, I'm tripping, man. If he don't do it this year, he's never going to do it. And I'm not saying that we haven't been saying this for years, but when you look at how the media is dragging this man down, like, and he yelling at radio personnel, telling them I fire you and hire somebody better. Like, he feeling that pressure so bad right now, bro.
He is.
I think he has to look himself in the mirror and say, listen, it got to get done now or it's never going to get done. Like, I'm going to never see this. And I always talk this head coach thing, right? And I'm going to bring this quick little thing up. I think I posted it before, bro. The one guy who we had who won us the Super Bowls was who? Jimmy Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Johnson is a Sean McVay. He's a players love to play for this dude. He was at Miami, probably partying with them at the club. Like Jimmy Johnson was one of them dudes, man, where
he was.
The players will fall off the sky for this man, right? They loved him to death.
For sure. That team had star power too.
100%. But Jimmy literally changed the tone in this franchise. You leave that, you get Barry Switzer, who was just a place gap for whatever. Cool. Then you got Bill Parcells said, look, man, I'm not sitting around for this clown show. I'm out of here, whatever. You go down the list, Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips, Mike McCarthy. I mean, Dan Camp, all these coaches that we had, bro, I can't name you one of those coaches that a player, like I always say, would just run through the wall for, or just say, coach, hey, I want to chop it up with you. Let me call you outside of work and just kick it with you. I don't see none of these coaches as none of those guys, man. And it's the reason why Mike Tomlin is always 500, right? When he on the sideline, he looked like he in one of their music videos. Like he is invited to the cookout is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And he there's a reason he has done so well with some of the players that have come through there, and you find out later, like, oh my gosh, this guy's
it's a reason Sean McVay, bro. We thought the Rams was gonna have a top 3 pick 2 years ago with that roster, and they made the playoffs with it. They get rid of all their first round picks, right? They do stuff that we don't think logically will work. And it works because the players, man, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, they love Sean McVay. Puka Nacua, they love their coach, man. And I always just say that the Cowboys never had that. And I don't think Jerry wanted that, right? Because if he gets it, then all the attention and the praise will go off of him. So I think now, man, if his next head coaching hiring, I know the Bill Belichick thing, you said probably wouldn't work. I think we need a Bill, and I'm not the biggest Bill fan, but I think we need a Bill like the Commanders needed Ron Rivera.
I don't disagree. Do you think he would do it, though?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to say this. If Jerry really honestly wants to change, yes, he would. But
there you go. I'm with you on that.
But I'm gonna say this though. I think Bill, I don't even count on Bill coming in being so successful that the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, right? I think Bill is going to be what Ron Rivera was for the Commanders, meaning he's there to sweep up the trash, clean up the
transition
garbage.
guy. Yeah.
And then in 2 years, 3 years, when he gets replaced, now we get our Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels, that changed. But I think the Commanders needed Ron Rivera to come in and clean up
house
after Jay Gruden was gone. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, okay. Ron was he was like the
he's a transition guy. He's a transition guy.
He had to be there for the rest of the Dan Snyder antics.
You know what he is? He's like Moses, man. He leads you to the promised land, but can't go in. You know,
he was that uncle that came in and said, "Man, what the hell y'all doing up in this house, nephew?" And he just cleaned up the whole place. Now they got everything in motion. So I believe we need a Bill Belichick to come in and put structure in the building, and then he moves on and somebody comes in and say, "Hey, I got the golden ticket, baby." So if we don't get somebody to come in and put structure and some ground, some gravel on the ground and get this building, put up right. I mean, CeeDee Lamb even said we need curtains in the stadium, and Jerry said, "Well, maybe we should tear it down." And build
Dog, you know what's funny? That was gonna be my last point. That was gonna be my last point about how I know that it's not gonna work with Jerry. Okay. Look, man, my last job I ended up leaving because the owners and the people in charge were getting older and crankier and worse. They're not getting better. They're getting worse, and they're not going away.
Stuck in their ways.
Bro, Jerry, I just want to make this point. You probably know this as a Cowboys fan. He built that thing to where the sun rises and falls to where it's going to be literally in your view as trying to make a play in there. Then, not just that. As a person with all the money in the world, like literally has much money as you could want, after he does something like that, what is he going to do? Instead of shading it, whatever kind of fix you want to cover it up, he's going to let people continue to look into it because he didn't make a mistake.
Yeah, you're right.
If he does it, like, think about that. Dog, Mike McCarthy has to be like, what do I do here? Like, because he's literally going to let his players look into the sun before he admits a mistake. That is just outrageous, bro.
Listen, man. One thing we know about supervisors and managers and owners, right, Adam? They never sat in the seats that we sat in most times. They just put stuff together and say, here the game plan, go make it work.
There you go.
But they always make the most money. So that's usually how working jobs, man. And when you're working at your job, most of the times when you get these emails sent in, your supervisor say, "Hey, we ain't doing this." Da, da, da. Bro, you ain't never sat in this seat. You just had money and bought a company and put it together. But most of the times, bro, they never. I ain't gonna say because Jerry played football before, but the times has changed, bro. They was wearing skull caps and scullies when he was playing football, bro. You know what I'm saying?
There was no face mask or anything.
The game has changed, bro. The sun was all over the place when he was. There wasn't even no roofs on the stadiums when he was out. So
they just ran the football. You didn't have to worry about catching it in the end zone.
100%, bro. So,
but like to the point you're making here too, I think. Well, I don't know. Go ahead. You had something maybe.
No, I was gonna move on, but go ahead. You good? You close it out.
I was just gonna say, let's. I didn't mean to beat it into the ground with them. I think they got bigger problems than just what's happening this year is, I guess, my overall point with them. The Eagles, I don't even know what to really say. Like, I feel like the Eagles are a team that's so damn talented. Like, last year was such a weird year, the way it finished, because that team is just in the position to do whatever they want with so much talent. Saquon Barkley has changed his team, in my opinion, man. Like, if Sirianni doesn't get in the way, it's crazy how a team that talented, right? Because the way I think about it, because of the current landscape and the way that the money is just not invested into running backs, they're able to go get the freak show of freak shows for a very reasonable amount of money. And a guy that was just motivated coming out of the Giants, like, all right, I get to go wherever I want. Let me go to an in-division rival and I'm going to mess up the whole world, man. I'm going to mess up the whole world. That team, I know you hate them. I'm just curious to see if it falls apart or how they end up finishing in the playoffs, because this team is, on paper, as talented as it comes.
But Adam, and this is what I always say this about the Eagles, right? I said this last year, and me and Mike always had our back and forth. Last year they were 10-1, but when you look at those games they won, bro, it was a field goal at the end.
Yeah,
Josh Allen fumbled for a safety, some random interception, pick six. It was never a game. I ain't gonna say never, but most of the games that they won, we talk about the Chiefs and the Ravens and these teams that are winning convincingly most times week to week. And we know, like, hey, you're gonna really had to step up to beat them. Yeah. When you look at Philly, man, a lot of times when Philly played games last year anyway, they was 10-1, but I never believed it because they never gave me that feeling of they were winning these games because they were just a better team. It seemed like they was just scraping through a lot of those.
They never ran away with it that much.
They never ran away with them, right? And when you look at this year, week one, they played the Packers in Germany or London or whatever. They beat them by 5 points. They lost to Atlanta by 1. New Orleans, they won by 3. Tampa, they won by 16 or 17. The Browns, they won by 4. Mm-hmm. The Giants, they beat by 24. Cincinnati, the Jaguars, they just struggled against last week or 2 weeks ago and only won by 5 when they was up 3 touchdowns or something in that game. So,
sure.
Of course, they beat up on a banged up Cowboys. But
and they started their first half. They started slow.
And they played the Commanders, the Rams, the Ravens, Pittsburgh, the Commanders. Their schedule coming up, bro, isn't getting any easier. And I still think they're going to make a playoff run or make the playoffs. But
you think they win the division?
I think they will because they have the better roster than the Commanders. But I don't think they're going to win it by like 4 wins. I just think they have a better roster. Okay. But I do believe that when they go in this playoffs, bro, when they go up against the Detroit Lions, one of those, if Minnesota is really on top of their game or Green Bay when they go up against these elite rosters that can go toe for toe, battle for battle, blow for blow with them, if Saquon don't put up 100 yards plus total that game, they're going to lose. I just don't think that they've convinced me that they can beat better teams than them convincingly. You know what I'm saying? Like they can beat up on these lower tier teams, but these teams that, like I said, like the Detroit Lions, we all know is probably the best team in the NFC right now. A roster like the Detroit Lions, I don't think they could beat Detroit right now, man. If you put them, even if the 49ers get healthy and they get CMC back fully, 100%. 49ers could beat them. And there's no knock on Philly. Like, I don't just hate them. I love the players. I just hate the logo, really. But
sure,
it's more so to me, bro. They haven't convinced me when they go up against better talent that they can just smack them and we moving on. Kind of like how Detroit and a lot of these other great teams are doing. So, like I said, they got the Rams, they got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and the Commanders twice. So we're gonna see how they do against these teams.
You ended what I was gonna say, so we can move on because I was just gonna say it sounds like though they're going to have every opportunity to prove correct or wrong what you're saying.
100%. 100%. So you know how we do it, Adam, man. I ain't seen none of yours get put
I was going to say, I'll send you one here as we get going because I got this league. I keep sending those into you, Fizz. It's a problem in that league, man. That league is a messed up league, but I'll send it to you here in the Overcooked channel. Go ahead and kick us off.
Actually, bro, if you can, you could upload it right there. While we if you could upload it on the
I'll screenshot it and send it in. All right, bet.
All right, bet. Yeah, so man, you know how we do it, man. For the Patreons, we go ahead and tap in with them, get them Overcooked scores, man, and let's see who's still in the oven this week, man. Let's tap this thing in, see what's cracking, see what's popping, man. We got it right here. Boom. Game 1, baby. Rusty Trombonist. My boy McNutt came through. Listen, man. This guy here is a cheat code. You know how he do, man. He probably got 8 quarterbacks on his team anyway. That's usually how he get down.
Yeah, J-Cap had no help.
J-Cap, man, they ain't looking good for you on this one, brother. ATM just pretty much confirmed it, brother. So shout out my boy McNutt on this one. Yep. We like those 100+ point wins, but you almost there on this one, man. What we got? Oh, dang, you just doing your thing everywhere, huh, Mike? You just all right, cool. I'm smacking everybody this week, right? So shout out my boy Mike, man. He came through, cleaned up. He ain't posted ones he lost. I'm sure he got smoked in a couple too.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna put those up for the cook. Come on, man.
That's it. My boy Easy. Easy money in the building, man. 9-1. Got us a good what's that? 131? 131?
Yeah.
Good,
131. New patron. Shout out E Money, man.
E Money. Shout out to E Money, man. We appreciate you, Playboy. Beat up on Matty Ice, man. Muddy Puddles is what he's looking like right now, man. So
9-1. He's out here sweeping the league up.
He doing his thing. Who we got? Okay, ripping.
Wow,
okay.
Riping. Killing him.
Dang, hold on. This ain't fair right here, bro. This guy gotta be tanking, man.
He's got I thought I was gonna have the easy walk away. This is Team Ripping out here making me dude, this is like 150 plus.
Nah, this is disrespectful right here, man. You gotta take this one down, bro. We gonna move on, man. This too disrespectful. Oh, then he back again. Dang, hold up, bro. You just smacking heads and putting stickers on helmets.
And this one he got to play the woke team on most of the league out here by 100 again.
Yeah, nah, for real. What's up with this schedule you got, brother? You out here playing like the Commanders. You got the Commanders schedule out here, man. Look, speaking of the Commanders, here you go. He back again, man. What the hell going on?
I'll tell you one thing. The Discord pays for itself. It's just like a flex play for him. He just gets to keep putting in all these beat downs, man.
Nah, look, he playing somebody that's on injured reserve, man. He definitely got the Commanders schedule, man. This dude here is authentic to the Commanders, no doubt. No doubt. Look, I put mine up, man. This is my laws, bro.
Man.
You see the name, right? Hookah, right there, bro. Hookah.
That's not even overcooked. That's just cooked.
That's just cooked, right? And guess what? I got one more with Puka right there the same way, brother. Same way. I lost.
That was a big matchup. 7-3, 6-4, number 2 and number 4 teams in the league.
Yeah, he passed me on that one too. Yeah, he passed me after that one. So shout out my boy Ace Dog, man. What we got right here? Last one, Mike. Adam. What we got?
I got you, man.
Ooh, okay, Mello. Is he tanking though, bro? He can't really brag on this one, man.
Well, it's this game is just a formality. As you see, it's 10-0.
Okay.
It's 0-10. It doesn't matter who it is.
You're right.
I actually kind of feel bad with this one. Like this league, Fizz, I'm not even gonna lie. This league is broken. This league is done. Like,
well, you 10-0, so you broke it. Let's just say that.
It's too much though. Like I feel like nobody has a reason to keep playing.
I'm with you. Well, look, you keep playing. You can win that money. You know what I'm saying?
As long as it's happening, I'm in it.
If nobody else want to play, you keep playing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they gonna have to do something to fold that league, man. It ain't gonna be me.
Nah, for real, man. Shithers, look, he don't want to hear about the Cowboys now because they losing. He talking about y'all talking too much about the Cowboys. He just texted me yesterday talking about, man, I think we need to pack it up. Man, we should have been packed it up, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, if you don't like how we talked about Dallas, I'm sorry about that. But
if we was praising him, he wouldn't have said it. So
me and Fizz had to just have it for real. Oh, we got a super in here. Let's go.
Hey, what is that, bro? That just came through.
Just came through.
Big
I got eyes for it. I got eyes for it, Fizz. I'm looking.
You know, we in the kitchen, man. So we appreciate you, coming through, brother. We gonna drop something for you right quick, man. 10-team PPR Superflex start 11. Trade Ayuk and a projected 102 for Higgins and my own late 25 first. I'm 8-2, first place with the most points score. Is it worth it?
I'm not doing this. Like, okay, the pivot from Ayuk to Higgins is worth something. But it's not worth 102 to late 25, bro. That's crazy. I mean, bro, now Higgins is all about him.
And Higgins not even playing right now, right? If Higgins was out there putting up Jamar Chase numbers, maybe we could talk. But bro, Higgins ain't played barely all year. He played like 3 games.
And when he played, he's been solid, right? But like the way I think about it in a 10-team league is I'm looking for the goon squad type players to really 100%. Like load up my team. It's all about having those hammers in this league. The 102 in this class is going to present you, even in a class that doesn't have a lot of QB talent, a very, very nice, a Ted McMillan, somebody really good. That is a player and a pick that gets you a lot more than a T. Higgins. Hold on to your side. You can leverage, I believe, that 102 for a lot more than Higgins, in my opinion.
Nah, with you, that 102 is pretty steep, man. It's pretty costly right there. Now, if you was getting, I guess, the 105 back, maybe it might not be too bad. But the 102 for a late 25, which it could mess around and be the 112. Nah.
If that's the thing, it's your pick, right? So if you're trying to go win the title, you're driving it later. So I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good on that one too, man.
I would rather send Ayuk and the 102 and go. I don't need that first back. I want to just shoot up higher up the board for a better player.
Yeah, Yeah. What about a St. Brown?
Yeah, that if I get to that tier, locked and loaded. Let's go win the title. I'm 8-2. Let's go load it up, man. Can I get someone inside? Like, yeah, I'm looking for a top 10 type of receiver in Dynasty. Frankly, like that's the type of thing I need.
Yep, that worked for me, bro. So hopefully we served you up right on that one, Big Breakfast, man. We appreciate you. So now, Adam, look, man, this is really we had a good time, brother. I guess we ain't kicked it in so long, man. We had to give the people some extra minutes, man. So we gonna get into the meat and potatoes of the show, bro. And I really wanted to
let's do it.
I really want to look into this NFL, not necessarily draft, but looking at the standings right now, man, and breaking down how bad quarterback play is. And every week it seemed like we calling for one of them to lose their job or to draft a new one. And we know this 2025 class probably won't fix that, right? A lot of people thought, hey, coming in, we had at least 3 or 4 that was locked and loaded to replace whoever's in the league. But we had Sam Darnold kind of broke out. He done stole a job from somebody. You got guys every week, man, that's stepping up and maybe solidifying themselves with a job over the summer. So when you're looking at the standings overall, and we just going to address the teams that need a quarterback in a sense. The Jaguars right now are 2-8 with the number 1 pick. We know they just signed Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Before we move, bro, do you think they should have did that? And do you think they would have replaced them this summer if they didn't?
What they should have done and what was likely to happen, I think, are probably different scenarios. I think.
True.
I feel like Trevor Lawrence has just been so revered and so highly regarded that he's been given the curve in which he's graded on just doesn't make sense in my personal estimation. Like he's just given a pass and a pass and a pass and a pass. He hasn't been bad, okay, but he has not been like when I say bad, he hasn't been Daniel Jones. He hasn't been these guys that are.
He ain't been Justin Herbert,
but right? He has not. Correct. He's also not been outside of was it the 1 year, more of like his sophomore year at moments where he's looked like the second coming of a great quarterback. I think right now he's just kind of mid. I think realistically, they're gonna if they don't screw it up, they're gonna end up just keeping him and taking Travis Hunter. I think that's just the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll see. I just don't. I don't envision because of this class also not having necessarily the most highly regarded quarterbacks. I don't think there's. It'd be kind of crazy to see, in my opinion, with everything going on, them pivot away from from Lawrence and try to go get.
No. I wasn't saying they should take one. I'm saying, do you think if they didn't pay him, would they have taken one? Or would you? I'm saying, do you think they should have? Do you think they should have paid him, or do you think they should have just waited and then tried to see what will happen in the draft? That's what I was. Yeah,
saying. The way I would personally do it, and most people don't normally ask me because I'm not a GM, but like. I would be of the mindset like he's not actually helping us get to the top, so I'd like to move on and try to re-roll this thing.
Yeah.
The reality is though, he keeps him in the mix. I think so. A guy that talented, so they weren't going to move on from him. I think if they didn't have him, yeah, absolutely, they're trying to take a QB, but there's no way. I think that now you got to try to build around him and hopefully get more talent around him. A lot of the offensive players they have just aren't like I like Brian Thomas Jr. a good bit. That was a great pick they have, but they just like Ingram's solid, right? Kirk got hurt, he's solid. Etienne hasn't been what I think they wanted him to be either. So they haven't necessarily unlocked.
Yeah, and Gabe Davis was Gabe Davis, right?
Gabe Davis was exactly what we thought he was. You know?
Yeah. Facts. All right, so we can go to I guess the next team, pick 2, New York Giants, 2-8. They clearly. Most likely will take a quarterback.
I think they're gonna if they don't screw this up, if they keep losing games with Tyrone Tracy having an unbelievable game, fumbles the ball, loses in the game. If they don't fumble that bag, they're gonna get their pick of the litter, man. They're gonna get who they want at the QB position.
So I being that it's the Giants, being that it's a Malik Neighbors, it's a big media driven city. What you think, man?
Shador, yeah. I feel like it just. The stars are aligning for it to happen, frankly.
I think so. I
think
and it's not a team that it's not like going down to Jacksonville. I can't picture Shador in Jacksonville if
that's what I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is New York Giants. This is a highly, praised franchise.
Shador doesn't want to go to London for a home game every year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right? We talking about the New York Giants. It ain't like being in Cleveland or Tennessee. New York Giants, baby. Now I'm not saying they guaranteed to have a number 2 overall pick, but if they closed out today and they was a number 2, I think it'd be very hard for them to not have Shedeur Sanders as the dart pick on the, they might even trade up with Jacksonville and say, hey man, we want to move up one to solidify this.
So
pick.
No one can go get Shedeur.
Nobody else. Because if I'm the Jaguars and let's just say the Raiders want to move up to the 101 from the 5, they could do that. So if I'm the New York Giants and I'm in front of the Raiders, I'm paying up to move up, bro.
I think it just stars are aligning for it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. You look at mocks, you look at everything that's happening right now. A lot of information can and will change. Cam Ward, I don't think should be the pick for them, but I feel like the Giants are goofy enough to maybe do it though.
I think they wanted Jaden Daniels so bad this last draft that they ain't gonna let Shedeur pass him, bro.
I believe that's probably the case. I also feel like it's gonna be a meme, a GIF, a link you'll always hear with the kid telling him go get J-Day and he doesn't. That's just crazy how that happened.
Nah, for real. So I mean, Tennessee is the number 3 overall pick. Will Levis is Will Levis. Do you think they're going quarterback? I don't see them not, but
yeah, I think it's weird. Callahan coming over, offensive guy, right? And Levis, I believe Levis has a lot of talent, but that dude is just he's a bonehead play a game.
He is, man.
One thing about last week, they got their cheeks blown out, right? But like, he didn't make a turnover. I think the only way they don't go QB, because Callahan's going to have his chance to pick his, is if Levis really cleans up turnovers. Even if they're losing some games because they're not talented enough, if he's showing strides and promise without turning the ball over, Callahan might be like, all right, man, I think we can build around this guy. If that's not the case, which I just don't think it's likely that he doesn't turn the ball over significantly the rest of the season. So if that's the case, which I project, I think they're going to be in a position to likely take a QB here.
And would it be what? Cam Ward? Got Cam Ward?
I think Cam is probably that. The problem, I'm going to tell you the truth, Fizz. The problem with this class is it's got a... You start like you're swinging for the fences, but it feels like you're really... I don't know if a coach is going to feel that secure necessarily, like going from a Levis, a project, to what feels like another project type of a player. So yeah, that's the only reason I say like Levis would have to clean it up for him to pass is because this classic QB isn't the greatest. So
it's not.
I think Cam Ward is the next guy on my list as far as talent goes, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's I ain't gonna say it's a tie between Shedeur and Cam, but they are the clear 1 and 2, right? Like
they should be. In my estimation, it should be.
They on their own tier.
They're in tier 1. Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, when you look at the teams, bro, we got the Titans at 3, Cleveland at 4, the Raiders at 5. We might get
there's a lot of QB neediness,
QB needy teams. I just don't know if this class is gonna have that QB come in and change these narratives of these teams, right? But since we're doing the exercise, you got the Carolina Panthers are pick 10. Are they going to look at this class, right? Let's just say Shedeur, Cam, and the next guy who I want to bring up, Jalen Milroe. Let's just say all 3 of those guys are gone.
Okay.
Would the Carolina Panthers go QB, or would they just say, look, man, Bryce closed us out strong. We didn't do him any justice. You know what I'm saying? So let's try to build and do what we do, because we invested so much in this guy to give up on him, bro, after 2 years. We gave away too much to lose Bryce Young to a 5th round pick to the Rams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be crazy.
Facts.
So
I think to your point here, everything that I know and that we know, I believe, about the quarterback class, the situations of the teams today, I think last year and this year, 24 class and 25 class are so different in the fact that the talent in 24 at quarterback was just oozing. Like it's everywhere. And then it's like, okay, everybody kind of got happy trying to go chase quarterbacks. Like, oh, well, let's get Bo Nix and Penix in there. Let's go ahead and throw them all in. This year feels, if I had to bet, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders get 1st round draft capital. I think Jalen Milroe could. I think some things are starting to go his way. I don't think he's locked into it yet, but I think he very much could. And I think after these 3, somebody's going to be reaching, man. Somebody's going to be reaching for their quarterback.
I got the other guy up here, but I don't see him.
I think, unfortunately, I think he has talent, by the way, Quinn. I think, you know what it feels like? Kind of a little bit of a Levis thing where it's like,
yeah.
I could see him being like an early second or whatever. I think he'll get drafted. I think a team will take a shot on him, but it hasn't broken his way 100% for the Longhorns, you know?
So I'm going to say this, right? If you're looking at the teams, New York, Tennessee, Cleveland, Raiders, let's just stop there, right? With the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
2 of those teams, we definitely got taking Shador and Cam Ward, right?
Correct. There's too much quarterback neediness for those guys probably not to go top 10.
Okay. Now let's just say one of these teams you could look at Tennessee and maybe they sign Sam Darnold. You know, Sam Darnold, free agent, right? It's going to be
some retreads for sure.
It's going to be some teams that are going to say, look, man, this pick is way too high for Jalen Milroe to take. But we don't want to miss out on our guy, like Kirk Cousins, right? Atlanta Falcons took Kirk Cousins, paid him $100 million guaranteed, and still went and drafted their quarterback in the draft when they found out that he fell to him at the 8th pick, which we all thought they would get a Jared Verse or, some type of receiver to go on the other side. Now, Mooney was a great pickup, and now that we see it, but when you're looking at the defensive side, I really thought Jared Verse was their guy, man. I thought Verse was, especially Raheem Morris being the coach, defensive guy. I just knew they was going defense at that 108, and they ended up taking the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I could still see a team like the Raiders who miss out on Shador and Cam saying, man, do they take like I said, Sam Darnold or one of these free agents that pop up out of nowhere that got a job now and just kind of just retool it and get ready for a 2nd round quarterback in Quentin Ewers or
sure.
I'm sure Carson Beck kind of play this out.
I was going to say Carson Beck's starting to not feel like a 1st rounder at all as well, but
he might not even be a 2nd right now, bro.
For sure. I mean,
he might take the Malik Willis route in the draft, man, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, well, the interesting part is like it only takes one team. It only takes one team, but you're not wrong. Like Carson Beck has not the stock is trending screamingly down. I see go ahead.
Yeah, we got Dylan Gabriel.
I was going to say, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel is just when his draft capital ain't really soaring. I mean, we see this all the time, right, Adam? Right? In college, we got the Matt Leinarts and all these guys that are on these crazy teams and great offensive systems. But I mean, look at Bo Nix, right? Bo Nix was in the same system, and we kind of hating on Bo in the sense, like, man, all he do is check down. Remember the Senior Bowl, man? They was dogging Bo. He can't throw it past 10 yards, and Bo went to the right situation.
Yeah, there was the perfect aligning of the stars too, where Peyton's looking for a guy that plays that way. He wants a short check down, accurate check down, and if they're a marriage in that he wanted a guy like that.
He couldn't go nowhere else, bro. If Bo was in Oakland or Las Vegas with the Raiders, I wouldn't want him on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like he's with the perfect coach for the perfect situation. So I say that to say Dylan Gabriel got to be with the perfect situation for me, for it to work out for him. But I mean, as far as the quarterbacks go, though, Adam, I mean, let's just try to help the people out, man, and give them a target base, bro. So we're gonna go New York Shador.
Yep.
Tennessee, you going Ward?
Yeah. I think if, like, let's say this was how it played out, where because the other thing is if they stay in that locked in spot, Levis has played himself out of a job probably still.
So do your Cleveland Browns go Milroe, or do they say, well, what's up?
Can I tell you that
I'm gonna let you answer that one.
I don't think that they do, and I'm answering this from the standpoint of, like, I think just what I know about this organization. They're analytic driven. I don't think anything about. See, a guy like Milroe, I think, is not someone that a big analytics community player or like a base is going to be choosing as their QB. I think they need. Listen, they need one. Okay, there's no debate about it. I don't think they do, personally.
Okay.
the other problem is like what do you do if you're Cleveland? Like unless some of these teams let them get a better spot to go get a Shador. I don't know what you do because this quarterback class isn't like. It also feels, if you're Cleveland, right, just investing in a QB to invest in a QB if you don't believe he's the right one kind of just makes the problem worse, right?
Yeah. So let's say Cleveland move on. Just say the Raiders, and we know the Raiders.
The Raiders have to take. They I don't think
Milroe is their guy if Shador ain't there, right?
It feels that way. The Raiders were the team that missed out on the QB this year. They get Brock Bowers, cool, but like we got to get him a quarterback, man. I'm with you. I don't know what the organization thinks of him and if that's their guy, but I think it makes too much sense that they don't take a guy like Milroe.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you on that. I think that's like the cutoff for the first round, though. I think after that, we might not see another quarterback go the whole first round.
Very much could be the case.
But entering the second, let's just, kind of wing it. If you go on Quentin Ewers, second or third round, what team do you believe he can go to that not necessarily get guaranteed right away first year success, but would make sense in a draft that he's behind a veteran? I mean, I don't want to say this too early, but could he go to the Rams and sit behind Stafford?
Sure, definitely. I mean,
late second round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
he falls, late second.
He definitely could be that where Stafford's still their guy, but it's almost like a waiting, right? If something happens to the back, if they end up just not being able to have a good competitive year, they pivot away. I think what'll be interesting to see is what do teams like you talked about Carolina do here? Like in the second round, if kind of depending on how Bryce Young finishes out the season. I'll tell you one thing that's kind of going to be really interesting to the same target and time or the same type of idea. The Colts, like, what do the Colts do? That whole situation, I don't even want to touch on it. It's so weird. It's so bizarre,
that game,
man.
Bro, on purpose. I skipped that game on purpose.
And the one that's really interesting to me still is like whether he plays well or doesn't play well, and how well he plays as your guy Geno Smith, and how much they can still continue to invest or not believe in him. Does Seattle maybe take a second round shot? They brought in a Howell this year. You haven't seen him play, but like it feels like they're not actually committed to Geno, but he is doing enough to keep them going. So
they try
to pivot? Right.
They ain't pay him yet. So
I think that's a guy that's a team that I think I'm monitoring that could be taking a shot there as well. And I'll tell you the one that you got to be talking about now. Got to be talking about the New York Football Jets, my friend. I mean, what is going on with? Listen, we can just blow up everything. Like Rodgers is just 6 points versus the Cardinals. Come on, man. Come on, man. 3 wins.
Listen, bro. And
what are they doing?
You got everything you asked for, right? You asked for Adams, we gave him to you. You asked for Lazard, we gave him to you.
Your back's against the wall. You want Adams? We'll go make the trade right now.
We gave you everything you wanted, bro, and you ain't did jack with it, man. So,
yep.
I'm with it, man. I mean, I ain't even think of the Jets. Dang, you don't. I mean, we talking in later rounds. We ain't talking first, but when you got like Dylan Gabriel's, Carson Becks, Quentin Ewers, these guys is still gonna be lingering, I guess, maybe to the second to third, fourth round. It's still some teams, man, that's going to take some of these guys. I didn't think of the Jets, but you're right, man. You got to look at the Jets, right? Especially when it's not first round capital. Once you move out of the first round,
facts.
It's like basically, we could roll the dice at that point, right?
What about the Saints?
What about the Saints? Damn, I don't know how did I skip the Saints, bro?
I was waiting. I just knew you were gonna bring them up because you know how much you hate Derek Carr.
Yeah, man, that Carr dude, man. Sheesh. But you're right.
It's crazy how many times, Fizz, I got offered Derek Carr this last week after he had like a halfway good week. Like, oh, here, take Derek Carr from me. Come on, man, get out of here with this. Derek Carr nonsense,
listen, bro, man. That's garbage, man. Do you think he's ever gonna be a starter next year, or do you think the Saints? He's still in the contract, right? Mm-hmm. He's not a free agent.
Mm-mm. I think though the thing about it is there's just too much quarterback neediness with this class coming in for all those types to not end up getting a shot somewhere. Like it's just gonna be a carousel. Like guys.
Well, I can see him staying with the Saints though, and they draft a Dylan Gabriel who comes in by week 9 or 10.
Well, because Because isn't that kind of what they did this year, just later, much later with Spencer Rattler?
With Rattler,
right?
Yep. No, you're right. And they're gonna have a new coach, pretty much new system all around. So
Dennis Allen gone, whole thing kind of feels
that
like
coach
it's
is going to want to get his guy in this draft. So
yeah, the Michael Thomases of the world are ready for Derek Carr to go out of here, man. You know,
I'm with you. So realistically, I guess before we close out, realistic landing spot, we can go with the three. Let's Quinn Ewers. We kind of believe is a later guy. So realistically, the landing spot for
Cody. Man, it's too bad Cody's not on the show. He'd be fighting us right now. He loves him some Quinn Ewers. You know that? Loves him some Quinn.
Well, he a Texas boy though. That's his people. You know what I'm saying? So he love him some Longhorns anyways. I believe. But realistic spots for these three guys right here. I guess before we close out, what you think?
Yeah, I think when you just look at
not even just in this order. Let's just like kind of guess the future of the standings. What you think is the most realistic spot for Shador or Cam or Milroe?
I think I would love to see personally Shador Sanders in New York for I think everything. Like
this for the NFC East, right? Just imagine Dak, Hurts, Daniels.
There's so much at stake there. It's like, okay, selfishly first for my Malik neighbor shares. Let's go ahead and get him Shador.
100%.
Let's lock that in now first and foremost.
No doubt.
And then, listen, right or wrong for all the good and bad, it's like Shador is gonna get thrown into the limelight of the limelight. Now he wants that, like that's what he wants to be in.
Yeah,
like that's what Dion wants to see him in. So he's gonna get everything that comes with that, the whole territory. But let's go ahead and put the kid that wants to be in the limelight right in the middle of New York City. Like,
yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and do that.
You're gonna be
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think
he's
the
NFL be in a city like New York. Just
the NFL want that, bro.
Yeah, a guy that's so big, personality-wise and just name-wise, that actually makes the whole city buzzing. Like a city like New York just doesn't do that, really.
Hey, listen, bro. One thing I know about the Commanders, if the Commanders were in Tennessee, nobody would want to be there. No matter who was there. When you in Washington, D.C., bro, it's something about the city, the vibe, people always talk about like the White House, but the White House is like the least thing that the people that live here worry about. Like we enjoy the city. For people out of town, the White House is the big thing. But to me, bro, I will ride past the White House and won't even look left or right. Like it's just a big white building that's there. You know what I'm saying? So to have Shador in a city like New York, when you got Jaden Daniels in a city like Washington, Dak in a big city like Dallas, Hurts kind of in that gritty Philly feeling, like, man, that's a hell of a division. And it will really bring the NFC East back to some respect, right? People always talk about the NFC least and how, Cowboys and Philly been beating these teams up for years. I just think, man, Shador, the same way I believe Jaden is going to help free agents want to come to Washington. Like if I'm a free agent, if Washington called me, I'll take a pay cut to play with them. You know what I'm saying? Jaden, my quarterback. So
he's probably going to help build my contract if I get one next time because I'm playing with a good quarterback.
Exactly. 1-year deals, 2-year deals. I believe Shador can do the same thing for the Giants where they got that oomph back and people want to come back and play with them. So I think it's a lock, man. Whether the Giants finish 2 or 6 or 8, man, you got to trade up and go get your guy.
That's going to be the thing, though, is because – one thing, while the talent maybe isn't that great across the board, because they're so minimal, there's so few that people believe in as the quarterbacks, I think that it almost in a weird way drives up the price, like where Shador is the one guy you can go get. So you're going to have to go move up to get him. And can you move past someone that's just locked in at staying there and taking a Shador if you fumble the bag, so to speak?
I'm with you. I
want to see the Giants personally. I think there's a lot of teams that come into the mix though.
With the Raiders, how the Raiders?
The Raiders have to be. You gotta be that.
But team, I'm saying how you feel about him with the Raiders. I know the Raiders. I think the Raiders is the one team that'd give up their life to go get him. But I'm saying what you think about him being there though.
Yeah, I think I don't like it as much as New York. I think Brock Bowers is a great piece. I think they have a lot to be desired at the receiving corps, and I don't know how I feel about the entire organization, to be honest.
Facts.
But it's Vegas. I could see still it being. I could still see it happening. I could see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. But my pick is the Giants. If we was to make picks, right? I'm with you on the Giants.
I think the teams though that depending on how this falls out the last several weeks here, like Tennessee is, I believe, pretty likely to be in the mix. I think the Browns, if they can get a good enough pick, should be very much in the mix. Hopefully that's the case. Because the only thing about it is, Fizz, I'll be honest, the one thing I don't want is the Browns to make another pick and them to choose who they want at quarterback, because they let Flacco walk. They let Baker walk. Like, they pick Watson. It feels like whatever they pick is going to be cursed. So that's my only fear there.
I'm with you.
But they're in the mix, and I think that what was the other team we were just talking about?
The Raiders,
the Titans. Go ahead.
I just don't see him going to the Titans, bro. I think he'll let them know before the draft, like, hey.
I think Deion and him and Shador be like Manning and whatever. Like, we're not.
I just think it's
coming.
I think it's the Raiders or the Giants, man. It's the only two that got a real shot to get them, to be honest.
You know what? I think the Browns probably won't even be in the position to get him. But
Probably
I feel
not.
like that type of a culture also could be one where they're like, nah, man, we ain't coming.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Giants and the Raiders, bro. Wherever the lights at, that's where you gonna go. You can't be somewhere where the media ain't at your front door and expect that to happen. I just don't see it. So
yeah.
Now, if the Giants and the Raiders weren't as bad of a team and he had no other options, then cool. But if the Giants and the Raiders are in the top 5, I don't see one of them not getting them. So yeah, I would just prefer the Giants.
I'm with you. I think the other one to kind of, I don't know. You got to put them at least in the mix, in my opinion. If the Jets really have it fall off, are they actually going to be able to, get into the top 10 mix? I don't think they're going to be that bad. I think they're going to find a way to win more games in the top 10. But if they were to sneak into the top 10, I think they're very much a team to monitor too.
Well, we gonna see. I don't think so, but we gonna see, man.
I also didn't think they was gonna score 6 points versus the Cardinals with Adams and all his toys he's got over there, man.
That's true too. Well, we gonna go rapid fire. Cam Ward, where you got him going? If the Giants take Shador like we both want, what's your best landing spot for Cam?
Yeah, I think it's tough because I feel like a guy like Cam, right? I feel like I want to see him go to a situation that actually has some playmakers. Like, what I don't want to see is him go to a situation like, I don't know. Like, I would like to see maybe something like the Saints or something like the Raiders even. They got Brock Bowers. Like, I want to see him have at least a weapon. I would love to see if the Giants don't get Shador, by the way, I want to see them get Cam. So that'd be kind of my thing. My personal pick would be the Saints first and then the Raiders second. I feel like there's a lot of teams in here that, like, after the Browns traded Amari, I just don't think they have a lot on offense that it's a good offensive situation with the play calling and Stefanski and that, but I just don't know that that's a great fit for him personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think the Raiders, man, if they miss out on Shador, they got to go get Ward. I just think that's the next best option, and you got to leave it like that. If you miss out on that guy, you got to get a quarterback. I think the Raiders are at the point now with quarterback is a must. No matter how good or bad this class is, you got to just go get one and say, F it, man. We tried,
Yeah, so, I'm with you. I think, listen, man, I think the Saints will mess around and make it interesting. I think they are a team that, like, with Olave too, it's like, all right, go ahead and trade up if you need to as well.
Yeah. So Milroe, to close it out, he can go to a plethora of teams, but I mean, like you said, the Saints, Titans. I just think the Titans, man. I don't know if they got that top 6 pick. I don't know if they're gonna take Milroe to the top 6, bro. That'd be tough.
I think the team like the Titans would probably. I don't know. It depends. I really believe it depends on what Callahan thinks of Levis. I was honestly, like, with Mason Rudolph getting them the win, I was kind of thinking, like, are we going to get another situation where Levis wasn't drafted as high, but they just go ahead and stay with the old veteran? Yeah. So they did pivot back to Levis. I don't know. I think that realistically, though, top 6 is kind of high for Jalen Milroe. But at the same time, if Callahan's like, listen, I want to go get my quarterback, he'll do it. I think they could also be in a position to trade back maybe 10 to 10 or something, 12, and maybe still grab him too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think to close it out, I think the Saints, man, to be honest, I think the Saints is in probably the best position or the prime position to maybe they don't take one in the first round though, bro. Maybe they stick with Carr and in the second round clean up with a Gabriel, a Ewers, or move up in the second versus moving up in the first. Like if Derek Carr's still under contract and you got a new coach coming in and he probably not expecting to win with this salary cap that they got, I'm not going to go ahead and give up my future for a quarterback who I don't really want anyway. And we don't even have no money to put nothing around him. So if I'm the Saints, man, I'm going to let Derek Carr ride it out, go 1 year and then go in the second round and get a Gabriel or one of those guys and then put him in a position so that when we don't have a car and we got some money, we can build around them. You know what I'm saying? So that might be a better play for the Saints. I can see that too. I do think like when I'm looking at his contract, so they have it's kind of like they have an out. They could get out of it with, it's a lot of dead cap still, but it sounds worse than it is because the salary cap keeps rising, where they'd get out after next year at like $60 million. Okay. And I think honestly to the point, man, you could see a situation kind of like the Falcons did with Penix, where it's like, even though Carr, let's say, like their new coach comes in, he's not really a Carr guy, but Carr is just going to, by de facto, be the starter. But they could still draft a guy in the first round and be like, all right, Carr, you're the starter right now, kind of on an extremely short leash, and we'll pivot to, our first round pick as soon as you make a mistake,
My only problem with that, though, bro, is Kirk Cousins is actually a good quarterback.
Correct.
So Penix has a time to sit and watch. If Carr go out there and win 2 games this year and then lose 4 in a row, they're gonna want that rookie who's not ready yet to come in, and he might be broken before he even get a chance to really sit down.
But you know what that could end up being? Because you're correct, but you know what it also could be? It could be Lamar. Come save him, man.
Could be Lamar. You're right.
Come save him, man.
Right.
Come save him from their own problems. I think the biggest thing is if you can let him sit even for a half a season, like let him start to get. I think we're seeing a lot of quarterbacks that sit actually do well. So if you have the ability to let Carr play some games, let him watch, let him kind of get acclimated, and then go feed him to the wolves, I think is a lot better than in a perfect world. That's the way to go. Because a lot of these guys that come out and start day one, I'm not saying that's all their fault, but it just works better if you can let a guy sit for half a season or a full year.
No doubt, bro. Well, look, man. We appreciate you here on the Cook Up, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you came through, man. My boy ATM finally came through and cooked it up with me. Cody couldn't make it, man. Look, before we get out of here, man, anything you want to say, holler at the people, anything you got going on, brother?
Just cooking up today. I got gonna do America's game here in a little bit. Got a full day packed. Okay. Shout out to my guy E. Shout out, I guess I'll say to the whole squad. If you're tapped in here, appreciate you being here on the Cook Up. Make sure you check out some of the podcasts as well. I'll be on America's game.
Podcasts are free to listen to. Some people be like, man, how do I listen to them? Go on Spotify. Spotify, you need subscriptions to listen to music.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the subscription fee to listen to podcasts on Spotify, to your point.
Facts.
You can also, if Spotify is not your thing, you can go to Apple Podcasts, you can go to Google There's all kinds of different podcast feeds out there, all free to listen to. We got a really good fire lineup of people and podcasts out there. America's Game, shout out, I'll be on Saturday, and then Eric also does the Waiver Wire podcast. We have a whole bunch of podcasts as well. So if you're here, hit the like, hit the subscribe, give us a comment, let us know where you want Shedeur to go, where you want these guys to go. And that's really all I got though, Fizz.
And I'm gonna tag you when you're wrong during the draft. Because one thing about me, I go back to old episodes, man. I be checking my receipts all the time, man. So
yeah, listen, man. I'll tell you, it's not all as glamorous as people think. Up here on the camera and telling you what you think, because people love to remember
when you
get wrong. Yeah,
they always forget when you're right.
No one's coming to me and being like, "Hey, man, that great call on Chuba Hubbard." They're all telling me, "Man, you told me draft Anthony Richardson. I'm out here. I can't even play him. Do I drop him?" Listen, it's okay. I can take it. Man. But just know that I don't get them all wrong. But when I do, you gonna let me know for damn sure, and that's okay.
We know that, man. But look, man, we appreciate all y'all being here. Tap, like, subscribe, stay tapped in with us, man. We appreciate everybody, man. The Cook Up Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m., baby. We'll be back next week. ATM was in the building, man.
Hey, this
We
was
love
fun
y'all.
too, by the way. The morning show is a vibe, man.
Yeah, man. I was going to do it solo, man, but I said, let me reach out to my brother.
Nah,
man.
you were telling me to do it solo. I was like, I'll let you go do it solo.
I
That's what
kind
you
of
want to
wanted
do.
to do
But
it solo,
yeah.
but I ain't high chopped it up with you in a while either, brother. So I'm glad I didn't, because you definitely, we wouldn't have went this long if it was just me. I promise you that. We would.
If you would have went 2 hours solo, I wouldn't even be mad.
Nah,
at you.
my dog. I would have had my dog up here. He would have chopped it up with me. So, you know, but we appreciate you coming through for us, brother. And you know, like we said, man, tap in with us, man. Keep that subscribe button hit, notifications, so when we go live, you won't never miss it, baby. All right, so we out of this thing. The cookout. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next.